Hi, Kuya Will. Just call me Luis. I'm 22, a working student. Quiet, just a simple guy used to the chaos of Manila. Every day, I ride the jeepney to the university. And every day, I convince myself it's okay even if no one notices me. Until one day, someone sat beside me. That's where my story began. The jeepney was packed. My back was sweaty, the cramped space pressing in. I checked my phone. 7:45 a.m. late again. A new passenger boarded, wearing a black hoodie, faded jeans, and carrying a noisy Bluetooth speaker in his bag. He sat next to me. "Hey, bro, pass this along." I looked at him. Our eyes met. He smiled. "Pass the fare, bro." I flushed a little. "Oh, yeah, sure." I handed it over. Inside the Jeep, everyone was quiet except for his Bluetooth speaker playing Tahanan by Adi, the kind of song that, when you hear it on a commute, suddenly makes your thoughts deeper. The ride continued. Sometimes I glanced at him. His eyes were closed, swaying to the music, like his world was weightless. The next day, I rode the Jeep again at the same time, the same route. And there he was again, now in a gray hoodie. Same smile. "Hey, you're right on time again. Must be destiny." I smiled. It was the first time someone called me Destiny without teasing me. Every day after that, we sat together. Time moved, but when he was there, it felt like we were in our own world. I started calling him James. I didn't know if that was his real name or just a nickname, but he was James, and I was Luis. Once, he suddenly paid for my fare. "Hey, why?" I asked. "Nothing. It's on me. You look handsome today." He laughed, but I couldn't shake the heat in my cheeks. Part of me wanted to get off, but another part never wanted the ride to end. The Jeep's song of the day played again, Di Na Muli by Itchy Worms. The music filled the air as James leaned against the back of the Jeep. And me? I pretended to look outside, but really, I was watching him in the mirror. I didn't know what this was. A friendship? Just a jeepney acquaintance? Or maybe the start of my story. All I knew was that in the middle of Manila's traffic and smog, there was one jeepney seat I always looked forward to, because he might be there. I first saw him in a jeepney. We always met there. But what I didn't expect was that we'd really get to know each other in a cheap eatery. One noon, I was starving. Just finished class, heading straight to work in the afternoon, so I stopped by a carinderia near campus. Lucky, there was an empty seat. I sat down, ordered my favorite adobong sitaw and fried lumpia. Simple food, but enough. Then someone sat across from me. "James," he smiled. "Hey, it's you. You eat here too?" I was surprised. "Yeah, I come here often. You?" "First time. Just followed my hunger." We laughed. He called his order. 8 peres, extra rice, and iced tea. Make it cold. I watched him as we waited. No pretenses. His smile was like it carried its own light. We ate quietly, but he spoke first. "You know why I always take the early Jeep? Because I want a seat that feels light, like the one beside you." I looked up. His tone was playful, but there was weight to it. I drank water to hide my smile. He mentioned he was a second-year multimedia art student. I wanted to be a filmmaker, but my parents didn't agree, so I compromised with multimedia arts. He asked me, "What's your course?" "Education. I want to teach in the province." He stared for a long moment. "You must be so kind. In the classroom?" I shook my head. "No, I'm just shy." The background music was an OPM song, Pahinga by Ben and Ben. We were quiet as it played, the song from the carinderia's radio like a soundtrack to that moment. In that simple eatery, Over pares and lumpia, I found someone to talk to, like I'd known him for years. I didn't know if it was the music, the hunger, or his eyes that always seemed to hold a story. But in those hours, I wished time would slow down. On our way home, we walked through the campus. No jeepneys, no noise. He stopped for a second. Luis, is it okay if we eat together again tomorrow? I looked at him. Of course. He smiled. Nice, because food tastes better when you're the one across me. I laughed. Couldn't help it. My heart pounded. I didn't know if he was flirting or if he was just naturally like this. But every time we talked, the walls around me melted. And for someone used to being alone, the joy of having someone to look forward to was something else. After that day at the Carinderia, something shifted between us. We weren't just jeepney mates anymore. We texted more often. No labels, but his presence felt heavy even when he wasn't there. Once, we met outside campus. I was running late, and it was raining. He texted, "Wait there. I'll pick you up. I have an extra hoodie." He arrived carrying a navy blue hoodie. "Wait, you're soaked. Wear this." "I'm fine." "Come on. I don't want you getting sick. You're boring to chat with when you have a fever." I laughed but put on the hoodie. It smelled like fabric softener, like James. We rode the Jeep together again, sitting side by side in the back. The rain continued, the windows fogged up. He took out his phone and removed one earbud. "Careful with my playlist, it's random." I put on the earbud. "Ikaw at Ako" by Moira and Jason played. I looked at him. He just smiled. Old, but classic. "This song is sad," I said. "Yeah, it is. But sometimes, sad songs make you realize who you really want beside you in the rain." In the middle of the rain, traffic, and his OPM playlist, my walls slowly softened. There was something about the way he smiled while listening, like his eyes had their own lyrics. Then the Jeep made a sudden stop. We panicked. A pothole jolted us, and he grabbed my thigh unintentionally. We both froze. Slowly, he pulled his hand back. "Sorry," he said. "It's okay," I replied. But the truth? I wished he hadn't let go so soon. We were quiet after that, but not an awkward silence. A silence full of questions, full of nervousness. In an ordinary ride, a simple song, an accidental touch, a connection formed that I still didn't know how to name. But I knew I wanted him beside me every day. I thought seeing James every day was enough. That the thrill of his laugh, his random songs, the accidental touches was enough. But one night changed everything. A night when I realized I might not be the only passenger in his heart. A week before finals, James invited me. "Luis, come to my place. It's my birthday. No frills, just some food, beer, and music. Game?" I hesitated. I wasn't used to drinking, but I didn't want to miss it. "Yeah, sure. What time?" "Tonight." At James's house, the music was loud but chill. His friends were nice, but there was one, Clara, who was always close to him. They moved together through every room. I stayed quiet, sitting in a corner while they danced. James approached me. "Luis, why so quiet?" "Nothing. Just not used to this." He smiled. "Sorry. I just wanted them to meet you, because I wanted you here." My heart raced. But before I could respond, Clara called him. "James, picture, quick." He stood up. Before leaving, he tapped my shoulder. "Wait here, okay?" I stayed in the corner, watched them take photos, laugh. Then in one shot, Clara hugged James. He glanced at me. For a few seconds, I didn't know if his look carried an apology or if he hadn't noticed me at all. The background song was Bawat Piyesa by Muni Muni, quiet, aching, like the lyrics were about me, the piece that didn't fit their whole story. Later that night on the balcony, James was drunk. He came up to me. "Luis, you okay earlier?" I just nodded. "Clara, we've been family friends forever. But you're different." "Different how?" He looked at me, serious. "I get kilig with you." I didn't know if it was the beer or the cold air, but his words exploded in my chest. I thought it was just me. But that night, he said it too. Finally, someone put it into words. Then, "James, shots again." He looked inside. "Just a sec. I'll come back." But he didn't return soon. I was left on the balcony, holding an empty glass and a question in my mind. Was it really me? Or just a fleeting thrill on a night of alcohol and music? Not every story that starts with kilig ends in happiness. Sometimes, no matter how many rides you take together, there are days you just don't meet. After his birthday, James grew quiet. No more late night chats. No more "see you tomorrow" messages. I didn't know if he was just busy or if something changed. The first 2 days, I understood. The third, I worried. The fourth, I hurt. I went early, like always. But he didn't come. 2 weeks passed. We didn't ride together even once. Then one day, I saw him. But he wasn't with me. Clara was beside him, laughing as they waited for the Jeep. I didn't show myself. I walked away, even though it hurt. The background song was Tahanan by 80. Every word stung, like I'd lost my home. We didn't fight. Nothing bad happened. But sometimes, the worst pain is not knowing why someone who was supposed to be there every day just disappears. In the classroom one rainy night, I was late, drenched, tired, hungry. As I sat down, someone handed me a towel from the side. "James." I didn't look at him, just took it and muttered, "Thanks." He was quiet. We didn't speak. He left the room without looking back. It hurts when things are left unsaid. It hurts when you thought it was us, but it never really began. Later that night, James messaged, "Can we talk?" I didn't reply immediately. Sometimes, even when you want to, you choose silence because you're tired of emptying yourself for questions with no answers. In the jeepney where we used to sit, I sat alone, raining, no music, no kilig. And there I realized, not everyone you see every day stays for life. Sometimes, no matter how much you love someone, you can't face them yet. Because if you hear their reason, you might break all over again. Three days after his text, I still hadn't replied. But one night, near the jeepney stop, I saw him, drenched, holding 2 bottles of soft drinks. "Luis," he called, voice reaching me before his steps did. "James," I replied, calm, but my chest felt heavy. "I waited for you here. I knew you'd pass by." I didn't answer, just took the bottle he handed me. We walked, quiet, until he broke the silence. "Luis, I'm sorry. Why did you avoid me?" "I didn't avoid you. I just got confused." "Confused about what?" I asked, almost whispering. "Your feelings? Or because you and Clara looked better together?" Sometimes, it's hard to ask when you know the answer will hurt. But it's harder not to ask and pretend you're fine. "There's nothing between me and Clara," he said. "Nothing. But that night, my birthday, when I said I got kilig with you, that was real. Then why disappear?" He looked straight at me. "Because I got scared." The background song was Hindi Ko Alam by Clara Benin, quiet, cold, like a heart, unsure whether to come closer or walk away. I'm used to hiding what I feel. I'm a guy, Luis. I was scared to love you because... What if you couldn't handle it either? I smiled bitterly. The irony, James. You were scared to love me, while I chose every day not to hope. He didn't speak, just walked beside me in silence. No hugs, no holding hands. But I felt it. We both wanted that silence, the kind that didn't need explanations. Not now. Sometimes, it's enough to have the strength to face the person who hurt you, not to start again, but to prove your love was real even when they walked away. And even if it hurts, you still whisper, maybe one day we'll ride the same Jeep again. Finals week. Everyone was busy, but between James and me, there was a quiet understanding. No more questions, but smiles returned. Careful chats. Then one night, he asked me to walk with him at UP Oval. You up for it? Just a short walk. Some fresh air. I agreed. I didn't know if this was closure or a new beginning. UP Oval at night. Quiet. We walked, both just looking at the path. I missed you, James suddenly said. I didn't reply immediately. Even when we weren't writing together, I thought about you every day. The background song was Sa Ngalan ng Pag-ibig by December Avenue. Just the instrumental, soft playing as James spoke. Why did you ask me here tonight? Because I wanted to say, I'm ready to ride with you again, if that's still okay. I stopped walking, looked at him. James, I'm ready too, but honestly, I don't know where we're going. He smiled, stepped closer, and in the cold night, he hugged me, tight. Not a romantic hug, but the kind from someone you've waited for. No kiss, no I love you, no are we official? But in that hug, I felt everything. Thank you. Sorry. Maybe we still can. Then, a drizzle. We ran to a waiting shed. Wet but happy. He looked at me. Luis. Are we? I didn't answer. Just looked at the rain. He smiled. It's okay. I'll wait. I didn't answer because I wanted to be sure that the next time we rode the Jeep together, we'd both be ready, at the right time, in the right way. I don't know about forever, but I know this. Sometimes, one Jeepney ride can change the course of your whole life. Graduation day. Hot, noisy, but my heart was quiet, waiting. I stood at the Jeepney stop, my old backpack still on. I looked around. No familiar faces. Then he arrived. James, holding a cup of Tahoe. I couldn't join you on stage, he said. But I'm here at the start of your new ride. I laughed. Still corny. But it was true. The background song was Hanggang Kailan by Orange and Lemons. Soft, nostalgic, like a slow rewind of everything that happened between us. Do you have an answer for me now? He asked quietly. I shook my head but smiled. Not yet. His eyes dimmed, but I tapped his hand. But I have a question. What is it? If we ride the Jeep again, does it matter where we're going, as long as we're together? He looked at me silent. I just want to know, even if we're not sure about tomorrow. Can we just be us for now? He nodded, took my hand. No kiss, no label. But it was enough. We boarded the Jeep. No goodbyes, no questions. Just sitting side by side, holding hands. Finally, I wasn't just a passenger in his life, and he wasn't just a question in my heart. Sometimes, riding together is enough. In unexpected rides, sometimes, that's where you find love. If you were touched by Luis and James's story, maybe you have your own Kilig Jeepney story too. One ride, one glance, one unforgettable moment. Share yours in the comments, or a friend's story of loving quietly but truly. And if you want more real life stories that make your heart race, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for our next story. Right here on this channel, where every story has kilig, pain, but always truth.